Hello everyone, Wenzeltron here, and we're back on Heroes of the Storm, and as you can see, for today's video, we're going to have, and continuing with our trend of HGC top picks, or impactful picks, we have Sonya, and this is back to one of the more popular picks. She was picked in 38 out of 66 matches, so a popularity percentage of 57%, and more of a middle win rate here. We got a 46% win rate. I mean, Malfurion didn't have a high win rate either in our last video, but Sonya is way more, a lot more used in general across all teams, rather than being picked on specific maps and compositions. So for Sonya, she has a really insane amount of build diversity, and for the most part, she just kind of dominates the solo lane, and it can be used as a way of manipulating the map when you have heavy teamfight control or just want to have a very impactful late game hero. For those of you who play, you probably know that Sonya will dominate in the late game very strongly because of the fact that her early game is all about building a little bit extra power, and in the late game you get two very strong sustain tools, Nerves of Steel at 16 and then Ignore Pain at level 20. Other than that, I've seen tons of build variation for her. This is one of the things I really like about Sonya in general, is you have a lot of build diversity depending on how you see the match developing or how you want to play her in the earlier laning phases, basically. Because like level 1 block is all about being a solo laner, which is important in this game, especially for Sonya. And normally you're going against heroes that have slower attack speed, so block becomes more valuable rather. So yeah, this one's gonna be a little bit shorter because there's not really a specific instance where Sonya made a crazy impact, but she did get a lot of play compared to the normal staple warriors of ETC, Muradin, and Dahaka. Those three are the tippy top of the warrior scene, and then Sonya has crept in there as well. But her win rate doesn't really show exactly where she's, like right in the middle. You know, she's not favored one way or the other. But it's still interesting to see that develop because I think Sonya is in a super strong spot right now. You've probably seen that in some of my cooked match videos, is that when you get a composition without a real warrior and you have a Sonya on one side or the other, it can be pretty much of a blender fest for Sonya. She just chews through targets because of her crazy damage output. And with that, everybody, we're going to get in this game, and thank you all for joining me. Please don't forget the like button and subscribe as well. And just leave a comment what you guys think about your top picks or any other things like that about HGC related things, or just in general how you're seeing things shape up with power levels of certain things, because I think Sonya's power level is in a pretty strong spot right now, and she can fit into almost any composition like a Dahaka. Alright everybody, so we've landed on the Cursed Hollow. So I would say this is a pretty good composition for Sonya to be in. We have a double support, Lucio and Ana, and we have a gray main with a hammer. So we're able to provide enough pressure and peel for our hammer if needed. But that's mostly on us landing our abilities. And then finally, ooh, they also have a Sonya though too, so it may be a little bit rough. Other than that, I think the team is pretty good. If we play inside the hammer's range, we should be able to poke away. Problem is they do have a Nova and a Lunara. So Lunara's, if you guys didn't know, Lunara has a very good scaling on her poisons, so she becomes more of a late game hero as well. And land that. And then one of the things also too, the casters were saying about Sonya is that her Q ability has one of the largest hitboxes of all hero abilities in the game right now, which is important if you're playing and understanding how the hero's mechanics work, because if you see this range on it and this how wide that is, it kind of fudges, if that makes sense. Like, you gotta get some wiggle room and what the area of effectiveness of the ability is. So we just gotta watch out for the Stukov silencing. The good news is that he won't actually stop my healing from taking effect, which is good. I'm just trying to clear the minion waves right here. Really shouldn't be doing that if hammer's outside of my range. The good thing though is I don't have a crazy mobility like a Turiel does, so I won't be getting out of the range of my Ana for healing. So she can keep consistent heals on me and I won't really die. Looks like Their Sonya's bottom lane. I'm just trying to be the front line for my team right now because we have a decent solo lane. Could probably rotate with the team. Or with, I just missed it. I was waiting for the skip. Lucio's doing a pretty good job of harassing the enemy Sonya. She's eating tower shots too. And this Lunara, as you can see, oh, but Lucio got sniped. That is no bueno. You've already seen me use all of her abilities. They're very straightforward. The Q, as I said, is a straight line skill shot with a decent width. And then her W is called Seismic Slam, which is a bit of a point click with a little bit of travel on it. It's basically just a burst tool. And then her last ability is her Whirlwind, which is her self-sustain in lane. So as you can see here, I'm healing per time Whirlwind damages, which is important when counterplaying Sonya as well, because you want to interrupt Sonya's Whirlwind as soon as she starts casting. Otherwise, she will get a lot of value from being able to use it. Looks like KT just died to our Grey Mane, and we got a kill on the deer, Lunara. So we're doing pretty good. Alright, so at this level range, we've seen a couple different things. So if you're going to try and do single target solo lane things, the Focused Assault is not a terrible choice. Neither is Seismic Slam, because it increases damage to the singular target. But if you're trying to go for more utility focus, trying to continue to be sustaining, you can also go for Hurricane, which reduces the cooldown of your Whirlwind by 1 second, and then you reduce the slows and roots, on you as well. Or it just removes them, not reduces them. So, for us, I'm actually going to make a bit of a change. Because their team is pretty squished, I'm going to go for Shattered Ground here. This doesn't do anything, but... Oh, we lost Hammer up to the top lane. We need to go clean up bot lane. I was not paying attention as I was explaining what the abilities do.
Agreed.
So as you can see though, because they have a Sonya on their team, you can see how impactful Sonya can be if she's just left in the lane alone. I cannot go in this though now with the two of them poking away. We're gonna go Poison Spear at level 7. This is pretty much the go-to talent. I missed my Q just barely. Just gonna ignore Sonya and go for the deer because she is the primary target here. And I'm gonna switch back since Sonya is behind us. If we had some sort of CC, we would have been able to probably pick up the kill, but we did not. But we're okay. We forced him back, and that's all I really wanted to do. I wasn't trying to get a kill. It would have been nice to get a kill, but not necessary all the time. Our Hammer needs to work on positioning a little bit. I'm just going to Whirlwind here, because I do have the advantage with my team here. Spreading out so we don't chain that bomb. Pretty good. And now we're at full fury, so we can go back into this without fear of being killed. And as you can see, the amount of damage I can put out... Uh-oh. Good Lucio heal there, keeping me alive. 3 seconds on a re-engage. As you can see, the Poison Spear damage is pretty astronomical if you land it.
It was rather violent.
There we go. So we did really good. Really well, rather. Proper grammar is important. As you can see, Poison Spear is really impactful. That way, when you miss it, don't try to force the engage. It can cause a lot of problems. You see lesser skilled players trying to force fights after they miss their Q, and then they can just get kited around. Because the Q is a minor stun, so you can... It's only, let's see, briefly stunning them, does it say? Yeah, it doesn't say how long. It's probably like 0.25 seconds, something small.
I will not be denied.
Ooh, Nova's here. There's 2 of them.
Of course.
So Lunara's out of mana, and as you can see, I just dropped her HP by a ton by landing that spear. And the spear lands on me, but Lucio's healing me. We're gonna go for Berserker Rage. So the reason I really like the Berserker's Rage, there's a stealthy right by me, right here. She's gone now, but it's okay. the reason I didn't realize about Berserker Raid, it reduces cooldown duration. So it feels like Sonya can just steamroll things when she has Berserker Raid enabled, and it, you know, it's those Wrath of the Berserker, sorry. And it's one of those things that it's hard, it's not very communicated well, and it kind of like more forces or enables you to push your weight around the map a lot more when you have this active. And as you can see, I'm just going to continue to pressure this Lunara if she decides to walk into me like that, because it's really silly of her to do that as such a low health target. That was a really good kite into the enemy team like that for their team. Those tiny choke points really enable the KT play. And then the last thing I want to know is that Berserker, Wrath of the Berserker is only a 60-second cooldown. So almost every team fight, you can use it, and you can use it to kill our camps quicker, and you can just... It's just one of those abilities that's just an all-around powerhouse for the most part. So we just got hit by the push tool. We're going to back out. Since I missed my Q. The Q is a 13-second cooldown, so it's relatively long. Looks like Hammer's dead, and they wasted an ult on him, though.
This way.
Just gonna jump onto Stukov since they're not paying attention. So the leap goes out. I'm on their KT though. Can I reconnect with the spear? I hit Nova instead, and that was actually the real Nova. Uh-oh, back spike. Oh my god, I had 20 HP. And Lunar dies by the bullet. So, we got 3 kills for the price of 2. Not a great engage, but the bullet came in at the right time. You need to be careful. Just gonna heal off the minion wave here a bit. Like so.
You're going to be okay.
So that's kind of how... This is one of the heroes that as a warrior player I never really understood the mindset you had to be in while playing her until very recently. And now that I've actually understood it, you can see how the level of play that I have now is much different. We're actually going to go Spell Shield at level 13 here because of the KT damage, and Nova even too. The Mystical Spear wouldn't be that bad because it does reduce the cooldown to 10 seconds rather than 13, but it's not necessary. When we have like Grey Mane and stuff like that. I'm trying to be more of a frontline warrior and be a little bit easier to keep alive than if I were playing. And that's a bullet. That's a really good bullet. Trying to not spread the bomb, like so. Just gonna whirlwind right here in front of Lunara because she can't really do anything with me when I have double support behind me. We can kind of push our weight around with the hammer and stuff like that. Double support hammer is really strong, especially in this circumstance. If Lunara wants to stay here, I'm not gonna be bashful about trying to force the issue because we already have the top lane control, and then Sonya's up top now. But we should be able to kill her actually, with the good CC coming out from our Ana player. Looks like Grey Mane was able to bait out a mistake from their Nova player. And it looks like their Sonya went Leap, which is kind of counterintuitive for their team. They do have a blow-up combo if they so choose to do it, but they don't really want to play like that. They have the sustain fight on their side. Ooh. Pulled the boss. Gotta wait. Grey Mane's out here. We should just back out of this.
Of course.
And you can see too is that my team is kind of positioning themselves in a sense to play around me. It looks like they're going to be doing their boss. No, they're not. They're actually not doing their boss. I'm just pinged retreat on a really awkward spot of the map. Just giving myself, or my team vision here. Looks like the Wisp is on its way. Gonna hit the So hammer is dead now. I'm actually going to get bursted. Break it down. Just landed, so I get saved by that, which is good. We should just back out of this because we did lose one already. We don't need to lose any more if we don't have to. Preferable, at least. But I'll re-engage to peel for our team. There we go. Kill Lunara. That's good. And we got a double kill. And let's see if we can kill Nova. 3 seconds on my Q. We should be able to get it. Good. Go for the throat there to re-engage. And that's exactly what he needed. Got some stunning going on there. And we're going to go for Nerve of Steel. So when they do try and get us, Q and Whirlwind to get in front of them, keep our mobility up. And that's a dead Stukov. Let's go to the top lane. We have the ability to do boss. We're 16 over them, so if they take a fight, it's a bad fight.
This way.
Gonna pop Wrath of the Berserker now, so that if I do get CC'd, it's not as big of a deal. I would prefer if Greymane would go in wolf form right now, but he's not. I do have all of my abilities right now. That's a Q, and that's a dead Sonya. Not Sonya, Nova. I'm a Sonya. I'm gonna get on KT. I'm just zoning them back right now, keeping them busy so they don't re-engage onto my team, which is exactly what we need to do right now because my team is a lot less tanky than I am. And by harassing them, they have to respond to me rather than go after my teammates. We still killed Nova as well. And I'm just decided to get this camp because we already had map control on the back left side of our map. They had to respond to boss, and so we get the second tribute, and we can get bottom boss. Our Lucio's doing a really good job with break it down timings. I did pop my Nerves of Steel midway through that fight to get an even more massive shield, and they couldn't break through it. Gonna pop Rather Berserker so we can just get this faster. And then the third tribute spawn should actually come up very soon for us. There we go. Take our bruiser camp now just to continue to paint the map blue, as they say, and push our advantage. Because we already have we still have a 2-level lead. They're not level 16 yet. And then we should push with our bottom boss, try to get front wall, and then back out for the third tribute here. Looks like Lunara is not paying attention, and neither is Stukov. They're very exposed here. The Stukov ultimate doesn't get that much value. Stukov's actually rooted by the boss right now. Gonna back out. Give myself some heal. Break it down is live there. So Sonya uses disengage. Looks like there's a root on its way. Missed again, but as you can see, we're doing really, really well right now. So boss done there. Good Lucio boop. And this should be a dead Sonya from poison. Nope, Lucio auto tag actually. Gonna hit Wrath of the Berserker now to continue sieging our way. Lucio did not die. Just hitting. I was trying to hit the Nova clone to keep my rage high, because as you know, Sonya does not have a resource that's mana gated. It's only whether or not you attack and mostly landing your Q and taking damage as well. Oh no! I got pushed away. Stukov shove. So we can go get the third tributes right now. Sonya re-engaged with Leap, but she's sleeping now, and then she hit me with her Q, so it doesn't do any damage to me because I did have Spell Shield active. I think he just realized he's dead. If they keep doing this, we're gonna win this game right now. Wrath of the Berserker is active again.
Double kill.
We're 4 levels up right now. We should just win this game.
That was rather
That was 2 Qs with nano boost, or 2 Ws with nano boost to kill a Lunara. And at level 20 here, we're just going to go ignore pain, which is a 75% armor boost. But we didn't even need it. This is just a steamroll. I did 54,000 hero damage there, everybody.
VP.
Our supports really enabled me to do everything I needed to do in this game. Lucio's timings, Anna's just consistent healing. But just really well done overall. And then Hammer just being Hammer, providing consistent damage and actually getting a lot of value with the giant bullet. I can't remember what it's called. So here are the stats. We went 7, 15, and 0. It's 60,000 siege damage and 54,000 hero damage. If you look at the difference here too, between the two Sonyas, you can tell the understanding of how to play the character difference there. The skill mismatch is extremely apparent. The amount of damage she soaked versus the amount of damage was done. Siege damage is relatively the same. And then as for this build, like I said in the beginning of the video, you can do a little tweaks here and there, but you can change it up as the team / comp sees it. But this is the one I like to go the most. Doing Spell Shield is dependent on the team, but the first 3 talents are kind of the go-to, I'd say. I really enjoy Sonya's playstyle now, and I'm really glad I figured it out because she's such in a good spot. And as you can see, if you play her right, she can just dominate a match. She just seems unkillable and unstoppable. So that's going to do it for this video, everybody. Thank you all for joining me, and I'm really glad I got to play this really well for you guys because in the past, I've struggled with Sonya and understanding her limitations and how to play her and get the most out of her, the min-max of the hero, so to speak. And I think I captured it really well in this game. And I just want you to understand how Sonya works on a granular level, I guess, because I think this hero is very, very well tuned right now for the current meta. And I'll leave a link to the build that I just used in the description as per the usual. But, you know, just play around with it. It's always about looking at what is available on team. It's not always about what's the quote-unquote cookie cutter, because there's not really a cookie cutter in this game, but there is, you know, min-maxes, of course. So that's what I did in this game, and I try to do for all of my games. It's just trying to see what is the best value for my team to do what I'm trying to do, and changing the mindset depending on comp as well, because I had to be the front line for our team this time around. So I went a little bit more tanky and targeted to particular things. So let me know what you guys think about this, and I'm really glad I get to share this all with you. So, see you all next time in the Heroes of the Storm. Please don't forget to like and subscribe this video. As always,